started in December 1979. That's when the USSR sent its first troops in, the 40th Army, into Afghanistan to aid the government there in putting down rebellion throughout Afghanistan. Basically, what happened was the People's Party of Afghanistan had recently overthrown the monarchy and begun widespread and quite radical reforms, and the more fundamentalists and just general Muslims were quite angry at this, and so the Sunni and Shia Mujahideen, mostly the Peshawar 7 and the Tehran 8, began to rebel. There were also a few small Maoist groups and a few other groups, but these were the main ones that were involved, and they were supported by Iran, which had recently itself been overthrown and become more Islam religion. And basically, soon after arriving, the Soviets became bogged down in a guerrilla war, similar to the Americans in Vietnam. Afghanistan is not a very easy place to occupy. Although the Soviets occupied the main cities and the main roads and things, there was a lot of fighting in mountains and things where the Soviets weren't able to use their troop advantage, and they lost quite a lot of troops to guerrilla attacks, snipers, sudden bombs, various things that they couldn't fight because there weren't coalesced armies fighting all over the ground that they could crush. And so basically throughout the years 1981 to 1989 it was just constant battle and warfare until the Soviets finally decided to leave.
The outcomes for Afghanistan was that the USA reacted to the Soviet invasion as they saw it as a blatant violation of accepted international rules of behaviour, and so and this basically it formalised the fact that the Tom was now dead, and President Carter then asked the US Senate to indefinitely postpone the further consideration of the SALT II treaty. But it was then later discovered that Carter was a bit premature in his judgment because he did not assess all the reasons for the Soviet invasion, and it went on to impose further measures on the USSR, such as a restriction of Soviet fishing privileges and a ban on the sale of high-tech items and strategic arms.
Yeah, just to add to that, the US also banned imports of grain on the Soviets, which was not a punishment for their actions in Afghanistan.
Yeah, I've got some more negatives. The USA boycotted the 1980 Olympics in Moscow, which the USSR wanted to use as a way to re-establish themselves as a superpower, but couldn't because the US didn't go. And Carter said it was one of the most serious threats to the peace since World War II. Some traditionalists would say that blame the USSR for beginning the war of terrorism and the Taliban by leaving Afghanistan in a shattered mess rather than trying to rebuild.
Yes, this pretty much signals the end of Detente, because part of the reasons why the Soviets decided it was feasible to invade Afghanistan was that they didn't think they were going to get anywhere with diplomacy with the West anymore, and so they thought they didn't need to worry about offending the West and creating outrage in the West. They thought that the chance for getting anything they wanted on, say, Berlin or Cuba or something like that were now going